welcome. This show starts right now. We are recording this, as always, live on Interstate 95. I could see our guests for this hour have pulled their car into the parking lot and they're walking into the gas station right now. So psyched they're here to hang. Andrea Rosen and John Gemberling. Both of them are brilliant and magnificent comedians and actors and people. Andrea is a film director. She directs amazing short films that win awards. I'm so psyched they're here. On a personal note, 5 seconds of context. I've known John Gemberling and Andrea Rosen individually through New York City and comedy since before they were ever dating or married with children. And by random happenstance, I became neighbors with the two of them when they were married in Park Slope, Brooklyn. Shout out, Park Slope.
Love you, Greg.
Love you, Greggy.
These two live in Southern California now, which makes it more amazing that they're here on the East Coast, I-95. They are looking svelte and amazing. They're getting headphones right now. Very professional here at the gas station. You guys, is it still raining there back in SoCal? There was a hurricane and an earthquake on the same day. Could you hear that?
Yeah.
How are you doing? Is it raining there?
Not anymore.
It did yesterday. It rained a lot.
Was it scary?
No,
No.
it wasn't even windy. It was like just pouring rain. It was like fun. You know, we were just in our jammies all day.
It was one more horrible news event that didn't affect us at all.
We didn't even feel the earthquake.
Yeah,
We
what
were
was up?
fine.
Was the earthquake in the middle of the rainstorm or what?
Who knows?
Yeah, the rain caused the earthquake.
Who cares?
How did your kids get affected?
They don't have to go to school today, and for some reason that's still not good enough for them. They're still acting like pains in the asses.
It affects them that they get like an extra day to play Zelda.
Fucking like twiddle their cocks on the couch.
Arthur's in the living room watching a video from a guy named, who is it? Austin somebody?
Austin John.
Austin John video, because he like tells you how to do things in Zelda. So he's like constantly watching these videos to like figure out how to get, I don't know, the next thing.
They won't even figure out how to play the game themselves. The minute they don't know how to do something, they have some fucking guy on YouTube tell them how to do it.
And then our other son, our 12-year-old, last I heard, was in his room just lying in his bed, not reading, not playing a video game, just lying there morose.
Because he was chastised this morning for being such a cruel pain in the ass.
Yeah. Because I was like, hey, do you want to like maybe see your friends today since it's a day off? He goes, well, Jacob and Daniel are going to Universal Studios.
He goes, they're going to uni.
Yeah, he called it uni. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I guess he's mad that he doesn't have a pass because they have a pass. But like, it was just like, can you just use a different tone of voice? Like, it's so weird.
It's like not even true. There's like so much made up. Like kids are like, I just read like 5 Harry Potter books today in the text chat. They're like, so-and-so read 5 Harry Potter books. I'm such a slow reader. I'm like, no, that person's a liar. They're just making shit up.
Yesterday, our 12-year-old was like, do you know that freeze-dried candy is a thing? And I was like, I don't know. It's like, so I don't know how that would work, because when you freeze dry something, you're taking the water out. He's like, no, it is. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I think it might actually be a thing.
It might be. I mean, I could be wrong, but like to be spoken to in that tone of voice for everything is just like alarming.
You really shut that down, though. He was like talking about freeze-dried candy, and you were like, it's lie.
I know. I did what he does. And then this morning, I didn't even tell you this. Arthur, our 9-year-old, he woke up. He goes, holy shit, it stopped raining. They're like saying holy shit and fuck now because we showed them Die Hard yesterday.
Arthur wanted Odin to show him something on the map in Zelda, like, oh, you found this thing, like, where is it on the map? And we heard him from the other room go, show me the fucking map.
He's 9. They never cursed up until basically 3 days ago.
Are there other R-rated movies that you've shown them? Also, I want to know what's your impression of this guy, Austin John, who gives Zelda tips?
Austin John, I don't have an impression other than that. I think he's very helpful. John, you might know more.
He's like any of these like adult YouTubers that spend all their time like fawning and, you know, thinking about. I mean, I play video games. I'm not saying like I'm such a mature adult, but these guys all have the same voice where they're like on YouTube, just like, okay, first, what you need to know about there's like 4 seconds worth of information they have, but they're padding it out for like views and whatever with like, so, and they all talk like fucking like like office managers with that like, okay guys, like, so what we're gonna try to let you know how to do here is like they're on fucking Judge Judy or something, and they like are supposed to sound smart.
And it's funny that like, okay, they play the game, they love the game, they're good at the game, and then they also fancy themselves like experts and tutors to help people. And I mean, they are, but it's just like, that's what you're spending your time doing. Now you're also teaching, you're making videos, you're uploading those videos, you're counting the views. Like, that's your passion.
And sometimes it's stuff that they explain in the tutorial, like, okay, like you're gonna want to go ahead and like hit the A button now, and that'll let you jump up onto the block.
But our 9-year-old takes notes. He like has a bunch of notes that he takes and he refers to those notes. And then he discovered that on his paper of notes, somebody had ripped the edge of his notes. And he went around saying, like, who ripped this? There wasn't any information on it. He hadn't written in that corner, who ripped this? It was obviously his older brother. And then he was like, okay, I'm done with these notes. I'm going to do more notes. Can you not rip the corner of my notes anymore? He was really pissed. And then when he was done with the one that had the rip in it, he offered it to, this is how nice he is. He offered it to his older brother. He said, here, you can rip more of this if you want. I'm done with it. Odin was like, what?
You two are the best. I'm seriously psyched to be hanging. John, when you play video games and you get stuck, do you consult YouTube experts for tricks and tips like your kids?
If I'm stuck, I will look something up. Usually I try to go to like a walkthrough or something that's not, because it's faster to like just scroll through a walkthrough than it is to like try to find the point in the video where this asshole finally like gets to the point. But you know, I don't do it often.
I've done it if John's out of town and our younger one is like on the couch, like crying because he can't figure out like how to do the puzzle or whatever. I'm like, oh God. And then I have looked it up and I've been like, okay, you got to go here. And then you move that thing there and then that thing there. And then you'll be able to cross over the bridge.
But there's kids like their cousins were over here a couple weeks ago, and they just watch. They
People
like
playing.
Yeah, they flat out watch like guys playing Minecraft for hours. And it's just videos of guys playing Minecraft, and they're grown-ups. They're like 19, 20 something year olds, like playing, not the cousins, the people who are playing Minecraft, and they are acting like they're like going skydiving or something. They're like, no, like there's nothing surprising in Minecraft. Like, whoa, can you believe I fell off that thing and hit it? There's like 25-year-olds. But I think that's part of the like business of it, is like you have to act like it's exciting because it's like so not.
Yeah. And they end up screaming on the videos.
Yeah. Yeah, like, whoa, can you believe? Like, oh, I landed right on the top of that mountain. It's like, yeah, it's like a game where that, like I guess it's like, 1 in 15 shot, but like, it's definitely not like, I don't know.
Yeah, like how boring is Minecraft?
I mean, I've enjoyed playing Minecraft, but it's not an exciting, it's not like an action-packed game.
It's very boring to watch. Our kids have been like, Mama, can you watch me play Minecraft? And I'm like, oh, okay. And I can honestly do it for like 4 minutes before I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And then they're like, come on, please. And then I'll be like, all right. And then I'll get on my phone. They're like, you're not watching. It's like, I can't. This is such a waste of my time, is what I'm thinking. And then eventually I'm like, I gotta go take a huge like literally anything other than watching somebody else play Minecraft.
The excitement of Minecraft is like, oh wow, it's a pile of sand. Like, if I dig up all this sand and take it back to my house and put it in the furnace, I can make a lot of glass in like an hour.
Or like our older one, I think he built a roller coaster and it took him forever. It took him like probably like a month. And then finally he was like, will you watch? Look, I finished. You gotta watch it. And I was like, okay. And then it's just like, oh, it's not that interesting. It's just, I'm like, this is what you spent your time doing.
Oh, we spent a horrible Christmas Eve day a few years ago where like Andrea and I had like fought. There was like, we couldn't find like one of the presents and we like got in a fight about it. And we were like in a fight on Christmas Eve. And then there was a stretch where we had to like pretend we were having fun watching a Minecraft roller coaster thing. And then we rallied by the end of the day. We made up and we had
I don't remember that.
Don't remember that fucking Pokemon card we couldn't find?
Oh, not really.
How long have your kids been calling it uni instead of Universal Studios? Also, is there like a culture of like LA parents that bring their kids to uni all the time?
Well, you can get an annual pass, and it's sort of like,
if you want to pay like $1,000, you can get an annual pass.
Yeah. So there are a couple parents who have annual passes, and most of the parents don't. And I just heard him calling it uni recently. Like the other day, like last week he said it. I didn't know what he was talking about. I just pretended like I knew. And then today I was like, uni, like, what are you saying? He's like, Universal Studios. I was like, okay.
By the way, there's like 5 things to do at Universal Studios. It is the biggest rip fuck of a theme park. There's like 7 rides. 4 of them are like movie theater, like rumbly seat rides. And the line for all, it's like, I've waited online for 2 hours to sit in a movie theater seat while the fucking minions tumble all over the place. And it lasts for 80 seconds. Like, you fucked me. You spend the whole day just feeling totally fucked.
The best thing there is the Waterworld show, which actually is like almost worth the price of admission.
The Waterworld Stunt Spectacular is great.
It's so good.
What goes down?
What?
It's just like
what happens?
It's like stunt people just like jumping off of huge towers into water. They're lighting themselves on fire.
Are you familiar with Waterworld? The Mariner, the Deacon, Helen.
You don't need to be to enjoy the show.
They take over this atoll. This is like people live in atolls, floating sort of little like flotilla towns. And the smokers are coming. They're like the bad guy bandits headed up by the Deacon. And they busted. They're everyone's searching for dry land. in that world because there's no more dry land. It's a water world. So that somebody found like a bag of dirt or something. They're like, dirt, this is from dry land. And so they break in and they're like terrorizing the people, and he grabs the woman, Helen, and he's like, you're gonna be my wife. Like there's a moment in the show where you think there might be a rape.
Yes. Yes.
They punch her. They're like shotgunning each other, and then the mariner comes and fights them all and hits them with like trash can lids and stuff.
But there's like they're on water skis and like jet skis and I don't know, they're all like really buff and just wearing rags.
And then they do the roll call at the end where they like say everybody's credits. They do like the credits at the end because they're all like stunt people and like guest stars and stuff. So it's like from NCIS Miami. It's like, huh? Who's that? Because he like got thrown off a building in one episode or something.
That's incredible. Other than Die Hard, what R-rated movies have you shown your kids?
I don't think Die Hard is R-rated.
Die Hard's R.
Oh, it is? Oh, because of the language.
Is John Wick R? They've seen the John Wicks.
They love John Wick. Oh my God, they love it. My 81-year-old mom was at our house for dinner. She had she was staying with us. She came from the East Coast and she was like at our house. We were eating dinner. And then all of a sudden our 12-year-old just like lifted up his hand, made a gun with his fingers and like shot her in the head. Like, and she was like, oh my God. And then I had to be like, well, they just watch John Wick and we're all being shot here at random times when we least expect it.
Have you seen the John Wick movies?
I've seen just the first one. It's very violent.
It's a lot of shooting in the head.
Like literally like 1,000 people get shot in the head.
I don't want to be. It's one of those movies that like I watched it and I was like, okay. But all of our contemporaries, like people whose opinions I respect and stuff, are like, oh, it's good. It's fun. It's good. It's good. I'm like, it somehow like every once in a while, these movies come along where you're like, this is not any different than any other fucking movie, but somehow everybody loves it. And like, you can't say a bad word about it. And they can make 15 of them. And if you're like, I think this is boring, people are like, what? You didn't like it? Like how did everybody, what are these like secret meetings where people agree to love mediocre franchises forever? Like literally I've been like, yeah, John Wick, like, yeah, it was like sort of dumb. And like the fucking like sound stopped in the room and everyone like looks at me and is like, well, I liked it. It's grim.
And our kids have watched all of them and they know them back and forth. And they'll be like, well, in the first one, when he shot him there, and then in the second one, I'm like, they're all the same. I'm always like, how can you tell the difference between 3, 2, and 1? They are all just him going around killing people in the head. Like
he shoots people in the head and then shoots them more. It's like not like, and he's like, here's the hero. It's like, what? It's like psychotic. He's shooting them too many times.
I agree. I fully agree. And your kids are deliberately swearing too. They're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just started. The other day, the older one had a sleepover. He had 2 other kids sleeping over. And then in the morning, we came out, we saw, we have a back house, and they were watching Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. They've made a show, a documentary show.
The documentary about the trial.
About the trial. And we were like, you're watching a trial about abuse? And they were like, yeah. It was so odd. And then right as it was almost over, the parents were coming. I saw them pulling up and I ran to the back house. I'm like, you guys, turn it off. And just don't mention to your parents what you were watching. Just turn it off. You don't know what to say about it to them.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
like courtroom footage.
Yeah, courtroom footage of like a man who looks like he smells like a taxi cab with like covered in jewelry and like greasy. It's like, haven't you gotten out of your like pirate goth phase yet?
Right.
By like 60 years old.
He's like an old pirate. And he's like fighting with this like beautiful, stunning young flower.
Like he did like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and was like, can I keep the wardrobe? Like, why did he keep it up? Like, why did he take that as the style? Like, wow, I am Jack Sparrow now.
Why is he still wearing eyeliner? Like he wakes up every morning, puts eyeliner on.
Is he like Marilyn Manson or something? Like, what is the like aging actor like fashion sense that becomes like incense guru, like greasy slime ball?
He looks like the guitarist from the Rolling Stones now.
Rolling Stone magazine.
Oh, Keith Richards. He looks
Yeah.
like Keith Richards now.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
style.
Exact same. And he seemed as surprised as anyone that he was declared innocent in that trial. He was like rolling out of court like, wow. He's disgusting.
So that's what the 12-year-olds are watching these days. And the night before, they were like, can we rent Asteroid City? I was like, yeah. And then I spied on them in the middle of like before that, and they were singing. They were like recording a song. They were singing. It was so innocent. And then in the morning, they're just like, let me hear about abuse.
And it's like the Netflix take. So there's no journalistic integrity. But I watched half of Asteroid City, and that's like a play. That's like a Shakespeare play compared to Depp versus Heard.
Yeah.
They were into it. They were so in. Two of them were very into it. And the third was like, I don't know. And then the other two were like, well, you got to watch it again. And I could tell he was like in his mind, watch it again. No, thank you.
It's like their like class phase. They're like, this is a classy movie. This is taste.
That's awesome. They get that from you two.
Yeah.
What do you guys stream together, if anything? Is there anything that other than John Wick?
Oh, we watched all the Marvel movies. We recently.
You mean as a family?
Yes, both as a family and the two of you, and maybe you guys watch shows.
Well, we recently showed them Bill and Ted's. That was so successful. The first two are like really hold up, are so funny. And they were totally into them. So that was like really fun. John and I watched The Americans. We're so into it. There's a lot of like sex and violence, and they are like, we want to watch The Americans. So then the other night we were like, okay. And then so like they got into bed with us, and we were just like, oh, like biting our fingers till like the main characters started taking off their clothes and blowing each other.
No.
And thank God that didn't happen. And then finally we were like, all right, that's enough. Get out of here. But what else do we stream with them?
I don't know.
Oh, we did watch Hell's Kitchen. Was it Hell's Kitchen with them?
Hell's Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares. That was really fun. We watched it with the bleeps, and then John came in to the back house.
Wait. So
Oh, you
it was
say it.
on. It was on. We watched it on. Forget what it was on, like Amazon Prime, or it was on something where it's a network show, so it's like they swear all the time, but they bleep it, and it's like, fuck, like it's fucking disgusting in this kitchen, Gordon Ramsay. But then they started watching it on a different streamer, like I guess it was also on Hulu or something, and on Hulu they don't have the bleeps in it anymore, so it's just like Gordon Ramsay, like, it's fucking filthy in here. Like, come on, mate, I'm just trying to fucking help you here. And like, I was like, wait, what? But the confusing thing is the mouths are still blurred. like for people who are hard of hearing. So like the mouths blur, but you hear the swear, and it's disorienting. I was like, what did he just say?
And our kids watched hours of it one day. They were just placidly watching it.
Oh my God. That's good. It's educational, right? The cooking is educational.
Yeah, it's the whole what it takes to run a horrible restaurant. Everything that goes into running a disgusting local restaurant.
I think somebody in New York once was like bullied by Gordon Ramsay and then he died. Do you guys remember that story?
What?
Anyway, hey, good talking to you guys. No, I'm just kidding.
He was bullied. Gordon Ramsay yelled at him to death.
It was like a story where someone jumped from a bridge, I think.
Whoa.
Was he on Kitchen Nightmares?
I think that he was on the one, the original. Was it like, to be honest, Gordon Ramsay has like 11 shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen? MasterChef Junior? MasterChef Junior?
I can't remember right now. Shit.
And based on what Gordon said,
Did you guys get back to Park Slope this year?
We did. You weren't there. We
Yeah.
went.
Sick. Park Slope, Brooklyn, the best in the world. Did you do everything and hit up all our old spots like Teabags, aka Terrace Bagels?
We went to tea bags. We did everything.
we saw Cece.
Our laundry lady.
We actually got into our old apartment.
There was a girl hanging out outside, and we were like, "Oh, we used to live there." And she was like, "What floor?" And we said the second, and she was like, "That's where I live. You want to come on up?" And we were like, "Okay." And we went up there. It was redone, so beautiful, really well done. She was like great, and immediately put on a wig, a long.
She's like an
wig.
actress.
Showed us her dog, then showed us all of her tattoos of her dog that she had.
The renovations that the owners had done.
Yeah, it was really cool.
There's like an acting storefront like a block over now.
Oh, is there like an acting
Yeah.
class or something?
Yeah, I think it's like Brooklyn Theater Company, but that's interesting that she put on a wig. And
She had so many props everywhere, and she was really excited to put on her wig. She gave me her dog's Instagram.
She was an inviting kook.
Yeah, she was an inviting kook.
Oh, I remember being in that apartment when you had your first son. Now, was it very different from how you remembered it?
Yeah, well, it was they had renovated it, so the kitchen is now in a different place. Like they changed a lot of the layout.
But it still had its like old Brooklyn charm.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it didn't still have its old Brooklyn charm.
But they like kept the molding, and it was really
No, it was very tasteful. It was I mean, the molding's all there. The molding that you remember.
it was good. Oh, and then she asked if we knew about the ghosts that lived there. And John, of course, said no, but I said yes. And we were with John's dad, who had encountered both ghosts when he had stayed there.
Oh my gosh. And Andrea, did you say yes because of that encounter? What happened with your dad, John?
Well, he sees ghosts in many places. He's like
Sure.
a ghost whisperer, and they are friendly with him. So it's not so unusual for John's dad to like know the ghosts in the house. Would
Totally.
you say?
No, it's very unsurprising. Father encounters ghosts.
And I did he said it first, and I am impressionable. And then I said, then I would like kind of feel a presence, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I think she's
Yep.
here.
Some creaky floors, a shadow in the corner, and you got a haunted house.
Yeah.
A motorcycle out the window.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yo,
Yeah, some chatter down the block, and
what info did she give you on the ghosts?
We all agreed it was
very substantial, compelling information. I can tell you this.
We all agreed that it was a friendly ghost. And I think she had only encountered one. Same with me. Grampy Steven, he knew about 2 of them. So I guess she's going to look for the other one.
People love to recognize the positive energy of ghosts. They love to be like, it was a positive, it was a sweet ghost. And it had my best intentions at heart. Everything has to do with you, the haunted. The ghost really wanted to tell me that it was okay.
Totally. Totally. There are some people who say they've seen ghosts and some mediums who I believe.
Yeah. So you know what? Like a year ago for my birthday, I was like, you know what? I want to get like a reading, like a psychic reading. And so it's not cheap. It was, I think, over $300.
This is based on astrology, right?
Astrology, but also some like energy stuff.
You're like, okay. It cost $10K.
So I set it up. It was hard to book. He's very busy. It was for my birthday, a lot of money for that kind of thing. And I said, you know, I've been writing a script for like 2 years. Do you see anything with that? He goes, nothing's gonna happen with that. I spent over $300, 2 years of my life working on a script that he hasn't read. He hasn't read it. He sees in his stupid fucking cards that nothing's gonna happen with this script. It's like, wait a minute, you're not my manager. You don't know. You're giving me notes on this. And then I said, all right, well, what about John? He goes, well, this month, something's going to happen to him that'll change his life, all of your lives. I was like, ooh, okay. In my mind, I'm like, well, my script is not going to go anywhere, but John is good. Something amazing is going to happen with John. What happened with you that month?
Nothing, except I started taking Prozac.
That was it. Other than that, it was just non-eventful. Nothing happened with John.
Terrible month. Dearth of opportunities and success.
300 and I think it was $25. At the end of it, he goes, do you want me to send you a recording of this? I said, that's okay. I don't need that. I can remember the highlight. Singular highlight.
What an asshole. He's like, do you want the recording? You know, it's like $75 for the recording.
I'm sure.
What neighborhood was that in?
Well, it was over Zoom. He was in New York and I was here.
Oh.
This was like last year.
And it was like referred to you? It was like in New York?
Psychic. I had gone to him literally 20 years ago. And during that reading, he was like, the sky's the limit, baby. And I was like, woohoo. Ding, worth it. At the time, it was like $150. I was like, yeah, walking through the streets with like, you know, my soundtrack going. Cut to 25 years later when I'm like a working actor and stuff. No, nothing's going. That script is no.
That'll be 310.
Yeah.
To Yuma.
310 to Yuma.
Wait, I am crying. It's so funny. I fucking hate that, man.
Yeah.
How do you think the Park Slope neighborhood has changed? Like, because I guess when we lived there it was 15 years ago. Does Chi-Chi remember you? Because I think the last time we were there,
Cece
does not.
We've gone every time we go see Cece, which for those of you who don't know, it's our laundry lady who worked on the corner in her laundromat. And we would go there all the time because we didn't have a washer and dryer in our house and we would drop our laundry off. And she was just this old lady and she runs this laundry place. And so we always go back to Park Slope where we used to live, where Greg Johnson also used to live. I'm like really telling the audience what's going on.
I love this.
And we would go to our favorite bagel place. We would always call Greg Johnson. We would go to Prospect Park and we would go say hi to our old building and we would say hi to Cece. And we go every year except for the years of the pandemic when traveling wasn't a thing. And every single time we go to see her, she has no idea who we are. We always talk to her. We always take a photograph with her. We always
this year we showed her the photograph from last year. She was like, "Oh, huh." And then she tells us like we look fat or we like our teeth are fucked up or something. She criticizes.
Last year she told me I looked fat. I wasn't fat, nor did I look fat. This year she told our 12-year-old, she said, you got to fix his teeth. His teeth are too dirty. I mean, he's 12. He does have, he might need braces.
It's like mineral deposits or whatever.
And then afterwards he was like, Mama, do I have to fix my teeth? So freaked out.
How could he not be freaked out?
Yeah.
I have video. The last time I was there probably with you last year. And when we were walking out, you were like, really don't think she remembers us. And John was like, she didn't even know us when we lived across the street.
It's one of those cases where she was so meaningful to us and we are meaningless to her, just totally meaningless, even though every single year we go and see her and say hi.
The movie theater's a Nighthawk now. The ice cream place is gone. The ice cream place on that corner looks empty.
It was like Ample Farms or something.
It's like being redone or it's gone.
Yeah. It's amazing that's still a movie theater. They could build condos there.
Yeah. They should.
But now it's a movie theater where they show like Dirty Dancing and give you a cheeseburger and it costs $160.
Yeah, you can get bothered throughout the movie by wait staff.
And then in the black of a theater, you're eating a burger. Like things don't taste the same when you can't see them. You just feel it. You're like, oh, I guess this feels like a burger. It doesn't work.
Oh, I didn't know that about you, that you needed to actively be looking at the food at all times.
I don't like eating in the dark. Unless it's popcorn, that makes sense to me. But like
that's
more
just cultural condition.
A more complicated meal. Like what if you were eating spaghetti? How do you even do that?
Do they serve spaghetti at Nighthawk?
Yeah, they're known for their spaghetti.
Nighthawk should do like a build your own taco night. They put all the fixins out. Grated cheese, sour cream, chives, ground beef.
It's just like a free-for-all in the dark.
We miss it. We come, we were there over the summer for 2 weeks. We usually go for 2 weeks and we spend a week upstate and then a week in the city. And I think this may have been the first time I was like okay with not living there, but like I always in my mind and heart live there. You know what I mean? I'm like, we've been in LA for like 12 years now and I'm still like, no, but my home, this isn't my home. Like, when are we going back is like the bubble above my head at all times, I would say. But I don't know.
The bubble above my head at all times. The Garfield.
While I'm eating my lasagna.
Yeah. It's weird because we lived in New York our whole lives and then had a baby for less than a year and then moved to LA. So living in New York, like missing living in New York, also involves the memory of the sort of like freedom of just like being able to wake up in Brooklyn and go get brunch. And, it would be so different with kids and like hauling around to school and stuff. So it's sort of hard to disentangle that.
Yeah. When I miss New York, I miss that life. I miss like not having kids and going out and doing shows and being really social and yeah.
Just walking. You could just walk a block to get whatever and walk around.
What is it that you tell your friends who don't have kids to take advantage of?
Oh, nothing at this point. I mean, do you have kids? You don't have kids.
No, and when I hear you say friends who don't have kids, I was just wondering, like, you think I should take more walks?
I think I used to be like, oh, it's so enjoyable. But now as we like age, like as we like get up into our 40s and 50s, you just look at your childless friends and you're just like, oh, that's so sad. They're just like withering away. They've taken all the walks. Like it's not fun for them to take life, like the bloom is off the rose for sort of all of the casual activities, and they just are sort of living these like vampiric, genetically useless lives.
Like if we get to take a walk, just the two of us, that's like amazing. That's like going to the moon. It's like the funnest thing. Like the bar is so low for us of how to have a good time that like I can't imagine, being able to just do that at all times. Yeah, it would be really boring. You'd just be like, another fucking walk in a beautiful place with my partner. Like, come on.
Having kids like rejuvenates the simple things and puts things in perspective. These like the aging childless people, it's like Lestat, just like everything. I've lived 100 years. I've lived 300 years and nothing, everything is gray and colorless now. So yeah.
We're also we're like up on the trends. Now we all go, hey, dab me up. And like people say dab me up, like that's a thing.
He probably has, because he's like has time to be like on fucking Instagram.
Oh yeah,
he's on TikTok.
Things are mid. If you're not into it, if it's not that good, not that bad, it's mid. Everything's low key, We know what's up.
Yeah, you guys definitely know what's up. Clearly, staying up on current slang seems to be as good a reason as any to have kids, like you said. And I've known the two of you since before you had kids together, and before you were even dating each other. Tell the audience, how did you two meet for the first time?
Me and John?
Yeah, when you and John first started dating, like, what was the dynamic since you were both like comedians? Is there any like I don't know.
Well,
I'm just curious about you guys.
We met on a commercial for Verizon.
Oh.
And we were both on the commercial, and I saw John and I loved him right away. And then I was at an audition shortly thereafter. And wait, did I ask you I asked you at the audition if you had a girlfriend.
At the
job, on the job. Right away, I loved him. I said, do you have a girlfriend? He said, yes. So then at an audition where there were a lot of comedy people, I said in a loud voice to a mutual friend, I said, I have a big crush on someone you know. He said, oh my God, who is it? I said, John Gemberling. I like screamed his name. Then his girlfriend, it was a commercial audition for something that everybody was at. Then a girl turned around. She goes, John Gemberling, that's my boyfriend. And I was like, oh, and then I just like had to backpedal. I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't even know him. It's, just ignore me, like, never mind.
And a couple years later, that relationship ended. And
we were friends throughout that. We were friends. Like from that moment on, we saw each other at all social events at UCB. Like we were really like, saw each other everywhere.
And then we like started, we like dated a little bit. And then Andrea was like, I have a few like options going on now. I'm not ready for this. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I really have feelings for you. And she's like, no, I can't be nailed down. And then I was like heartbroken for like a year.
Oh, man.
And then
I had a dream. I had a dream that John and I were together and we had a baby, or I was pregnant or something. And it was so real. And I woke up that morning and I was like, oh my God, I have to be with John Gemberling. Like, we have to make this happen. So then that night, it was Brett Gelman's birthday party at that place. What was it called? Was it like Sammy's Romanian or something? Anyway, it was a birthday party at a bar in the East Village. It wasn't Sammy's Romanian. And then I told John about the dream. And then from that point on, we were together.
Oh my God, John, how psyched were you? Do you remember when you were told about
she
the dream,
texted
John?
me that morning and was like, I had this dream or this and that. I was like, and we knew we were going to see each other at the party that night. I was like, all right, yeah. I was so psyched.
Dude, how psyched.
I was so psyched, Greg.
Dude, I bet you were really psyched.
I was so psyched. And she put me through it. She was like, no, I'm not interested. It's enough of this already. I don't care. I'm numb to your heartache and feelings. And then for this turnaround, I forgive, but I don't forget,
Yeah. Yeah.
So psyched.
So fucking psyched. That's huge. That is gigantic. There must have been a time when you were experiencing the heartache and maybe still saw each other at comedy shows or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out.
And
Thank
us
you.
being comedians, it is funny. We're
It is
funny.
very
Our kids
funny,
think we're
yeah.
funny. Everybody, we think each other's funny. It's a lot of laughter.
Well, you must be the funniest parents in LA, right?
Yes.
Definitely.
I sometimes at parties will be like, look at that dad. Like to my kids, I'll be like, look at that other dad. Like, you think he's fucking funny? He's not fun. Like, look around you. Like if other kids are over, I'm like, I'm the most fun dad, right? And they sort of like sheepishly are like, yeah. I'm like, that's right.
I know that you probably don't want to talk about other people and signed an NDA, but wasn't like Giselle Bundchen like at your school? There was some somebody was in line for picking up kids. I think it was Giselle Bundchen.
Gwen Stefani.
Oh yeah, Gwen. At preschool. We went to the same preschool as her.
We call her Gwen.
Gwen and Blah. We saw them at it was like a preschool event. I saw them a couple times, but I saw them at a preschool event where it's like parents and kids. I can't remember if there was like a performance. Oh, you were like, the kids made a bunch of art things and you went around and looked at the museum. It was like a quote unquote museum. And they were there and you might have to delete this. She was like
she took a shit in her own mouth.
No, she just showed up and looked like she was ready to play Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Like
Boy looks great. Gwen never looks like, she's never in sweatpants.
Yeah.
Gwen could not have had more makeup on her face and her heels were very high. And I felt for her because it was like cobblestone and dirt was it wasn't like a smooth surface. I was like, if that was me, I would definitely have twisted my ankles, but
I don't think I have to delete it. I don't think
Okay.
You just said she looked spectacular. I mean,
yeah, but yeah, she did have this flexible tube that allowed her to shit into her own mouth.
Into Blah's mouth.
Yeah, they were passing the tube around like a hookah.
Yeah, you can leave that part in. Leave that part in. Take the other part out about her very red lipstick. That wasn't at all on her teeth. It was she did look stage ready.
Were you guys ever in a commercial together again?
No, but we have
Okay.
worked together. We did a job together and it was so fun. Oh my God, I loved it. John was my scene partner. We were like, we were like holding up a diner or something. We were like robbers. And it was so fun. I was like, oh my God, I wish I could do every job with John.
And I learned that Andrea is like one of those actors on sets who like is giving like extra suggestions. They're like, oh, that glass was over there. Like it's continuity. She's like giving continuity stuff. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Let's just get this done. We don't need to like give little tips and stuff.
Oh my God, I always do it. So annoying.
Dude, wasn't her chapstick in on the left side of the table there? It's like, it's not her job. We just want to come and be done. They're never like, thank you so much. You saved the continuity. They're always like, oh, okay, we'll check. And then it takes an extra 45 seconds for them to like play back and figure out where the chapstick was.
Sorry.
Sorry
for making it look perfect.
Making it looked
Perfect.
I'm still crying. Andrea, do you have a more critical eye because of your film directing skills?
I don't know. I think I don't know why I do that. I don't even do it as much on like my own short films. Usually I don't know.
Whenever I have the impulse to do it, it's always like I want to make sure that people think I'm like capable and that I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, like I think I am trying to help.
Yeah, I get it. I've kept you guys almost an hour. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
But I want to ask about your short films. What's the hardest part? Like writing, editing, or directing your short films?
I would say the hardest part is like raising the money to do it. But like I think it's easy to write a short film and
easy.
And then gathering the people, you just have to be like, hey, do you want to do this? Like, this is how much I have. And then people are usually like, yeah, or they're like, I can't. And then you're like, okay, what if I did it on this day? And they're like, all right. And then
that's how Apocalypse Now happens.
And then editing, you're like, can you edit it for this tiny amount of money? And they're like, well, let me see the script. And then they'll be like, yeah, I can do that. And
you should do one of those master class.
And then they're like, okay, yeah. And then you're like, all right, cool. And then it just takes time and you just have to keep emailing. Hey, I had some notes on that edit. And then they're like, okay, I'm in the middle of a job. Can I do that? Sure. And I'm like, yeah, of course.
The last few times Andrea's done short film shoots, she has come home. She's like, I'm shooting the film today. Like, you gotta, like, okay, I'll take care of the kids, blah, blah, blah. She has come home like hours early. I'm like, what are you doing home already? She's like, we finished. We shot it all. It's like, you shot it all in like 4 hours and we're done. She's like, yeah, it was crazy. We shot it all. And then the next day she's like, oh, I wish we'd gotten like this and that and that. And then she has to do reshoots. She does like half a day of shooting and is like, we did it. Wow, that was crazy quick. And then has to go back and like shoot all the stuff she didn't shoot on that day.
I always do reshoots when I could have done it on that day. But it just takes me a minute. I'm like I'm a little slow. I mean, I'm fast, but I'm not as it takes me a minute to figure out everything I need to get. But then I do. And then they come out. Yeah.
Do you have to get a different crew to do the reshoots?
No.
Okay.
I get the same people. It's usually a skeleton crew, though. I don't have like the bells and whistles. Not that I ever have too many bells and whistles, but it's usually just who I need. The last time I did it, I didn't use anything from the reshoot. So it turns out I didn't have to reshoot it. But the editor was like, Andrea, you didn't really like shoot any extra angles here. I'm like, Yeah, I know. But then it came out. It came out good.
That's good. That's all you need.
Yeah.
That's fine. Being done is better than being perfect, right?
That's what I think, Greg.
That's huge. I needed to hear you agree with me on that. Thank you. You guys, will you consider coming back and doing this again sometime? Because I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. I mean, I thought this was going to be a one-on-one with Andrea. You
Yeah.
threw me a curveball here, but to be honest, it's the first time I've ever gone over an hour because it's so fun talking to you. Do you have any last words? Like, what are you going to do for the rest of the day?
Say.
The Zeit.
What are you gonna do for the rest of the time?
I
have some final words. Speaking of bagels, I just want to share with you John's father's bagel order at Tea Bags. Have we ever shared it with you?
No, please.
When we go to Terrace Bagels, John gets a bagel with whitefish. I think our other son gets it with cream cheese and salmon. Our other one just gets cream cheese and tomato or something, and I just get a plain bagel and like eat everybody's extra scoop.
Oh my gosh, you four are the best. Like hanging out with you four on Prospect Park West. That's a happy place for me. Thank you.
For us too. Now, John's dad orders a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese, smoked salmon, and whitefish and red onion.
It's like an $18 bagel.
He likes cinnamon raisin with 2 fishes. The most expensive bagel, the most disgusting combination. And he is shocked that other people are horrified.
And he has like 5 teeth.
And we're paying for his bagel, which is like $40.
That's right.
18. I think it's more than 18.
We'll look it up.
He's packing on the protein.
Yes.
Like, yeah, he's trying to get his treats worth. And I mean, whether you look it up or call the bagel place and ask them, please get back to me with the price.
It's really like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You got the sweet, you got the salty, you got the dairy in there, a little bit of your salad with the red onion. And then we have to watch him eat it with his 5 teeth. And then he's so generous. He's like, care for a bite? No? Oh, then he gets sad when we're like, no, thank you.
Yeah, ultimately he's sad.
Sad. That nobody wants to partake in that. I want to be like, if I do, I'll just barf it up. So no thanks.
Well, on that note, we've said it all. You guys, thank you for coming by to hang out. And please be very careful driving out of here onto the interstate because it can be extremely dangerous.
Love you.
Love you, Greg.
Love you, Greggy.
Love you, Greg.
Love you, Greggy.